In this video, I'll be installing a GrimmSpeed lightweight battery mount kit into my 2020 Subaru WRX STi. First up, let's see what's in the box. GrimmSpeed decal, hardware, tie-down bar, and the lower tray. Man, this thing looks pretty awesome. There is an official installation video by GrimmSpeed that I have linked in the description below. The main difference here is in the color of the kit as well as the car in which it is installed. There are also a few corrections that may or may not apply to you. I recommend watching both videos and then follow the parts that apply to your particular situation. Okay, let's get started. Start by removing the stock battery and tie down. You won't need this red plastic cover, so remove it and put it aside. Next, undo the positive terminal and then the negative terminal using a 10mm ratcheting wrench. Stuff the cables out of the way after you've removed them. On the negative lead, there is a plastic cap that is kind of difficult to remove, but keep wiggling and it'll eventually come off. Next, loosen the nuts holding the tie down in place with a 10mm deep socket. You won't need this tie down anymore, so put it off to the side along with that red plastic cap from earlier. Now you can lift the battery and tray out of the engine bay. Go ahead and put this off to the side with those other two things. Now is a good time to clean that engine bay area. I use Gary Dean's Infinite Use Detail Juice and a microfiber towel. Something different on my car versus the official video was this grounding cable. Remove the bolt and keep it for later. Move the wire off to the side. Now let's prepare the battery tray. We will use the small recessed bolts, the flat nuts, and locking nuts. Be sure the nipple on the flat nut is pointing toward the tray. Thread the lock nut until the bolt touches the nylon locking section of the nut. Do this for both spots on the battery tray. Once things are in place, you will want to tighten the lock nuts a few turns, just enough to keep them in place. Then spin the flat nuts down to meet the locking nuts. Alright, enough preparing. It's time to put this thing in the car. Start by wiggling it around so that the flat nuts go into the 2 holes in the engine bay. This may take a few tries. Use a flathead screwdriver to help position the flat nuts so they can slide into the holes better. Now, take that bolt that secured the ground cable and re-secure that cable to the tray and into the threaded hole. This wasn't easy, but I eventually got it in. Be sure to keep the bolt perpendicular so that you don't cross-thread it. Thread the bolt in a little, but not all the way just yet. Use a flathead screwdriver to keep the flat nuts from turning. And then tighten the hex bolts with a 4mm hex socket. Once these are tightened down good, finish securing the bolt holding the ground cable using a 10mm ratcheting wrench. Check that the tray is secure. And in goes the battery. Terminals should be closest to the sky with positive toward the rear of the car. Once in place, put the tie down in place on top of the battery. And then use the hex cap bolts, washers, and nuts to secure the tie down to the tray, holding the battery firmly in place. Check to make sure that it's secure. Finally, reconnect the battery terminals, starting with the negative cable. I did not have to do any modification to my positive battery terminal to get it to fit correctly. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe.